This is the Paltalk News Network.
The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not, no retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated, and so are you if you participate in the show. We're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show. By the way, Boaz, before I get into the pitch for our news network site, I say where we're distributed, but we have a new distribution syndication avenue going, Boaz.
Yes, sir, that is correct, Gary. Even though you don't like my music, I will tell you about it. It is called Blip TV. That's right, and in a moment or two, I'll be posting the link to it. Blip TV is a competitor to basically to YouTube, but of course, this is my own opinion, Gary. That Blip TV seems to be better than YouTube, at least in the way that you're not limited to 10 minutes of video. Therefore, the Paltalk News Network shows and all other shows will be available, and already are, in fact, available on Blip TV in their entirety if you would like to watch the shows and the reruns of the shows. So it's called Blip TV, and I will post the link here in a moment or two.
Okay, that's terrific. And I remind everybody to go to our news site, paltalknewsnetwork.com. Go early, go often, just like voting in Chicago, because we update it throughout the day, and you will see stories that you may or may not see here or read in the mainstream media, including 3 that I've plucked from the front page of the Paltalk News Network site today to offer as topics during today's show. You know, yesterday, Dr. Michael Price was on talking about. Well, I'm at the court. That's very nice, Boaz.
My apologies. Never mind. My apologies.
That was me talking to me.
It was you.
That was the
yes,
St. Patrick's Day Parade. That was the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Okay. Anyways, yesterday's News Talk Online here on the Paltalk News Network, we had Dr. Michael Price, who is a practicing orthopedic surgeon in Hudson, Ohio, and who wrote a book about the horrific medical system that we have in the United States. Horrific in that, no, we do have the skills. Yeah, we do have all the equipment necessary, and we have all the medications. The problem is access to all of that. And there's a tiered system in the United States, and if you've got the gold card of insurance, if you happen to be rich or you work for a company where your union has negotiated tremendous medical care benefits, or if you have a boss who, out of largesse or for competitive reasons, has offered you the gold standard in medical insurance, health insurance, you're doing fine. But then there's the next level, people who have to buy their own insurance but who are not wealthy, or those who work for companies that can't afford better insurance. And then there's the next level, people who are uninsured. And then there are those who we say, well, they're covered, they're on Medicare and they're on Medicaid, etc. But as Dr. Price pointed out to us yesterday, there are a number of physicians who no longer accept Medicaid because it costs them more to treat the patients than what the Medicaid reimbursement is. And furthermore, they are spending more time filling out forms and answering questions over each visit of each Medicaid patient than they are spending time treating the patient. And I am one who is, as you well know, a strong proponent of single payer health care. But I'm concerned that this government of ours can't put together a program that improves the situation from where it is today. So we were talking about all that yesterday. Lo and behold, story breaks today that in Washington State, one of the largest drugstore chains in the country, Walgreens, said they're no longer accepting Medicaid patients at the pharmacy counter. So if your town's got a Walgreens, and God knows how many other smaller pharmacies have come to the same conclusion because of the reimbursement issues, and you're on Medicaid, and you come in there with the card because you went to the clinic, and he treated you or she treated you at a loss, and then writes you the script, and then you go to Walgreens, they're going to say, sorry, we're not going to fill this for you. That's if you're lucky enough to find a doctor who will see you in the first place. I'm really fearful that what they're doing in Washington, the cure will be worse than the illness itself. It's like we discussed the other day. We had the guest on talking about the over-medication of mental health patients and how virtually, and I was talking to a doctor about this today, virtually every medication that is prescribed for depression, one of the side effects is it gives people suicidal thoughts. Excuse me. You're treating them for depression so that they don't become suicidal, but your treatment makes them suicidal. And we have to be aware of these things so that we can push back on these issues. Two other issues I want to bring up. The American Civil Liberties Union, and this is really a very controversial question, has filed a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit demanding that the government disclose the legal basis for its use of unmanned drones to conduct targeted killings overseas. Now, I say the U.S. government. I do not say the military, because in all likelihood, most of these drone attacks are being conducted by the CIA. Now, we are in an undeclared war in Afghanistan where we are using drones to attack. And by the way, they have made mistakes and they have killed civilians, collateral damage, they used to call it during the Iraq War. I don't hear that term used so much any longer. And it's turned the Afghan public against us in some measure, even though they are happy, apparently, according to all of the surveys that I have seen, that the NATO troops led by the United States are attempting to root out the Taliban. And then in Pakistan, a country with which we are not at war, the same thing is happening.